I don't know how to make intros yet, so this is the intro. Blueberry tea. So, hi guys, Juan here, and today I am gonna talk about some questions that I have asked people to ask me. Yeah, I don't know how that works, but it's working, okay? Anyways, so on my Instagram, my idea is to have every week a video where I speak to you guys, and this topic was questions, right? To give you guys a more in-depth look of who I am and what I like, what I do, what I don't like, and whatnot. So I have, I believe, 13 questions here, and we're gonna get to those in. And it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be interesting. You guys are gonna get to pick a little bit into my brain, and that's exciting, you know. So let's go with question numero uno. At what age did you begin creating art? Wow, that's intriguing and interesting because I really can't remember. I do remember that when I was a little kid, I had a lot of drawings, and what really began everything, it goes back to my first channel, which was 4-Star Art, right? And I want to say since I was about 7, 8 years old, as far as I could remember, you know, I was drawing and sketching, and I was fascinating from the anime itself, Dragon Ball, you know, at that moment, Dragon Ball before Dragon Ball Z. And it was just definitely something that intrigued me, and needless to say, you know, it became one of my passions and one of my loves. So I believe that's the answer. You know, let's take a sip of this amazing tea. What are 5 emotions that you feel when you paint and draw? So I think it's your typical, you know, emotions, or at least for me. When I'm happy, I use a lot of color. Lately, if you have noticed, I use a lot of watercolor markers, and I've had a lot of fun with those, right? And that's really when I'm happy. I just use a lot of colors. The brightness of it just brightens up my day, and it's fulfilling in a way. So that's 1. 2, when I'm sad, I tend to sketch a lot and just do a lot of I don't know, I was gonna say dribbling, a lot of doodles, and it's a lot of unfinished work, you know, because fortunately and unfortunately, fortunately, that sadness goes away with me pretty quickly. Unfortunately, it goes away before I finish whatever I'm sketching. So that's number 2. Excitement. And I don't know if this is considered an emotion, but the excitement of when I'm almost done, it is something. I dance a lot. I get up and dance a lot. And if you guys knew, just everything that I do, a lot of things that I do is based off of music anyways. But when I'm finishing a piece, I get so exciting, and I tend to just dance a lot. I don't know. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4. Let me think. I would say is something more of an overwhelming feeling, because when I have an idea, I transfer it from up here to the canvas, correct? And when I have that sketched out, I've had a painting sit for almost a year, no, a full year, before I put paint onto the canvas. Now, I believe it came out amazing, but it was just it's just this overwhelming feeling that I don't know where to go. I don't know where this process is going to take me. So, and those are just personal paintings. Now, if it's a commission painting, it's a different story. But when it's something like that I'm doing for myself, or something that I just really want to do, then I get overwhelmed because I don't know where to go with the paint, how I'm going to mix them, how I'm going to go with this and that, and that. So yeah, that's number 4. And number 5, confusion. I get confused a lot. And it's not because of the work that I do, it's not because of the process. It's just how I'm gonna get everything that I have going up here onto a canvas. And that's really what it's about, right? It is just a confusing moment. Now thankfully I am able to get past that, but I would like to say that those 5, I don't know if they're all emotions, but those are feelings, if you will, that I go through. So question number 3, let's see. Knowing that you have a full-time job, even though you may be tired, what keeps you motivated to keep working on your craft? That's a really good one, because I am very tired, like extremely tired, right? So I'm not gonna say where I work at, but I am gonna tell you that my work schedule is waking up at 3 in the morning to get there at 4, and then I work until 1 in the afternoon, right? But people think it's a good thing, and at the same time, yes, it is, but it isn't, because by the time I get off work, I just want to go home and sleep. So normally I take about a 30-45 minute nap, and then I get back to creating something, What keeps me motivated? It's the fact that I want to do this for a living. This makes me happy. So I want to be able to do this as a resource of income. And really, that's just the gist of it. It's not necessarily about the money, but it is about the happiness, and if I can create and make this work as a full-time job, then I'm okay with it. I think that's the best way I can put that into an answer for this question. It's a really good question, though. This is really good, by the way. And if I keep on looking at this, I don't know why, but I'm working on it. Okay, I'm still very new at this. That's for me. Hold up. Did I just chase the mail lady so I can get my stuff? My stuff? Of course. This is just something very special. Anyways, back to the question. When you don't feel like creating, or you don't have the drive, what gives you a spark to keep on going? And it kind of ties into the same question that was the previous question, right? It's just the fact that I want to do this for a living, and this makes me genuinely happy. A person can be part of your happiness, but they can't really make you happy. You have to create that. You have to create that resource, if you will. And for me, fortunately, it's my artwork and creating and doodling and talking about the art and all of that and whatnot. So really, that's what gives me that spark. Not to mention music. Music is essential to my life. I wake up in the morning and I listen to music. Throughout work, I listen to music. And when I get home, everything is related to music. So really, that's one of the things that spark up the don't give up attitude, keep on working on your craft. When did you realize art was your passion? I wish I could say, it's ever since I can remember, but no. I've always loved to draw and paint and create, right? When it became a passion was when I actually started painting. And this is, I want to say, about 3-4 years ago, when I really decided to buy the acrylic paints and test my skills onto the canvas. And I think that was a major key, because I believe, a Lion King piece. I think it was like 48 by 48. And it really just, it gave me this, in a way, this high that I couldn't get out of for a very, very long time. And at that moment, I knew this is what I want to do. At that moment, everything clicked. and I was like, okay, I know what I want to do. I love this, and fortunately, I was right, and it's been working out so far. So I'm happy about that. I'm still crazy because I had to chase a lady for this. Anyways, let's go to the next question. Okay, question number 6. What inspired you to start this art journey? What inspired it? The fact that I've seen other artists be successful and do really, really well, and they do what they please as far as, you know, their creative side, and people still go for it. That's really inspiring. And it is just one of the reasons that I wanted to keep on doing this, and said, okay, this is going to be my journey. This is going to be my process. And it really just, once I saw, I believe I watched a documentary by, or of Jean-Michel Basquiat, and how he broke barriers and everything like that. That clicked, that I connect to him a lot in different levels. And really, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start this journey. And like I said, thankfully, this journey has been very, very, very well. It's given me a lot of happiness. So I can really say that, you know. Man, I got a little serious about that, a little emotional. Question number 7. How long does it take until you are ready with one piece? So I guess this is the question is the process of creating one piece. And it can really, really, really be completely different. I mean, it could be 1 year, it could be 1 day, it could be, 7 days. It just really depends. And what I like to say is that I feel a canvas, and it guides me, and it tells me when I need to stop and what I need to do. So, and it sounds crazy, right? But I really do feel like that. For instance, I did one piece, I believe I spoke about it earlier, and I sketched it out, but it literally took me a year for me to put paint on it. But once I put paint on it, it took me 3 days to do the whole thing. So it really just depends. That, and then, things come up. You can get sick, problems or issues or whatever with the paints, with anything else. Personal issues could happen. That can just kind of set your work back a little bit. But to be honest, it just depends on the size of the piece, and like I said, how I feel when I connect to that special canvas, because I don't see it as just, oh, it's just a canvas, because ultimately I'm putting my soul and a part of me into that canvas. So in a way, I do connect with that itself. Pregunta número 7. 8. I keep on losing my mind. How did you develop your technique, or my techniques? How do I develop them, right? And to be honest, it's just trying and keep on going and working constantly. Really just playing with new techniques and see if that works for you. And I can't teach someone the techniques that I do because they don't follow, the art rules. And for instance, I use acrylic, right? Strictly acrylic. And these are for bold letters and bold colors and whatnot, right? But I can also use them into shading and creating other things, maybe skin tone and whatnot, right? And people ask me, oh, well, what kind of oils did you use? And I'm like, no, this is all acrylic. It is just constantly working on things so you can improve on it. Really, it's just work, and make whatever your technique is, perfect it, you know. So be a master of your own technique. You gotta be like water, if you will. Bruce Lee. Hey, what separates you from other artists? Oh, that's intriguing and interesting because my work style is completely different than anyone else's. And, you know, every artist can say the same thing, right? My bold colors, the lines that when I do outlines, the thin, clean lines, I don't tolerate myself if I don't have a standard, right? And if my standard is up here when I'm creating something, especially if it's for someone, then anything under this is a no-no. And I put all of my effort into this specific piece or whatever it could be, right? What really separates me is my techniques, the way that I do things, the way that I use the colors, the way that I defy the art rules on how things are supposed to be done, because I am not your typical artist. I don't just follow this line of, oh, well, this is only art, you know. And I'm trying to create a lot of different things, and my plan is to really just set a tone of my art style, because I'm still working on my art style. And really, I believe that's just what really separates me from anyone else. You know, you can look at my work and you can be at an art show and you can see so many pieces of work, but I guarantee you that my work will stand out because of the outlines, because of the bold colors, because of the clean work that I do. And even when it's supposed to look messy, I make it look clean, you know. And I believe that really is what stands out about me and my artwork. How do you determine pricing? That's tricky because I'm still learning on the pricing. A lot of artists, what they do is they say, okay, well, it's gonna be, I charge for the hour or per the hour, and they do anywhere from $20 to $40 an hour and or higher, right? I don't see myself doing that. I rather look at the piece and say, okay, this is what you want me to do. This is how it's gonna be. I do it by size, the size of the canvas, and the detail that you're gonna want me to put in. You know, either way, you are gonna get more than what you're paying for when you're dealing with me. You know, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, you know, only 60 hours, so I'm just gonna make 60 hours worth of work. I can't do that. And it's really, the clouds keep on going in and out, so that's why you see a lot of different lighting. But that's the way I look into it. You know, I look at what you want when I'm creating something for you, and really, to be honest, what I say is like, okay, it's this size, it's this much detail, it's gonna be this much. Also, I am not trying to be those artists that charge thousands of dollars. I don't believe that my artwork should be specifically for a bracket. Now, if someone wants to pay me that much, then put that money in my bank account, homie. But you know, I want to work for the people. I don't like seeing work that is overpriced, and because there is a lot of artwork that can be overpriced. And I'm not gonna touch that subject because that's a whole different conversation. Anyways, but yeah, that's how I do pricing and whatnot. You know, just the size of the canvas, how much detail I'm gonna put in, and then we'll go from then on, back and forth with the conversation. Anyways, on to the next one. Wow. What's the difference creating when I started versus now? What's the difference creating when you start? I guess what's the difference before and now? When I started doing it just for fun, and now that I do commissions, it's an upside and it's a downside to it. It's an upside because I get to, you know, put a little bit of money in my pocket. the downside to it is that I don't have a lot of time to create something that I truly want. And it made me think of Picasso, because Picasso didn't do commissions. Picasso did whatever he wanted to do, and people would buy it, but that was his style, and it was very revolutionary. So I get that. Me, I'm willing to, I love having people's ideas and putting them into a canvas, and then going from then on, adding my creative mindset into it. That's the downside, that I don't get to. One, the upside is that I do get to, put money in my bank account and, buy more art supplies, or buy whatever it is, more equipment, if you will. The downside is that I don't really get to work on a lot of things that I personally want to do, but I still love the process. Don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. The process is still amazing, and I still love it. If I feel like the customer and I aren't seeing at least 80% into the piece that they want from me, then I kind of start questioning, like, maybe I'm not the right artist for you. It's not all about the money. I'm not gonna just take I'm just not gonna take anything and be like, okay, I'll go for it. But that's the way I work. What inspires you to create? That question is I don't know. I want to say that when people ask me, well, what inspires you? It's so cliche, because it's, when I made this list, and that was one of the questions a lot of people asked, and I'm like, oh, okay. But what inspires me to create anything? It could be anything from, and here's a perfect example, right? It could be anything from a music artist, or anime, or, if you see what I have, is something that I used to watch when I was a kid. It could be a cartoon. It could be anything, really. Music. Like, I cannot put enough emphasis on music. When I make music, as if I'm like Timbaland and shit. No, when I create anything, and what sparks up that idea, a lot of the time it's music. It really is. Fun thing about me is that I love hip hop, right? Not rap, hip hop, like the whole culture. And it's poetry in motion to me. So when it could be the smallest thing, it doesn't have to be a song. It could be a small verse. It could be half a verse. It could be, whatever it could be. It could be the beats, the sounds. I'll give you a perfect example. Jay-Z's Holy Grail. He says at the beginning of his song, he talks about Mike Tyson, and I believe he says 30 mil for one night. As soon as all that money goes, all the pigeons take flight, right? And then he keeps on going, right? And I'm not 100% sure of the lyrics. I haven't listened to it in a minute. But that inspired me to do something in the future, It could just be anything. Mostly it is music that drives me. And it could be something that you and I are talking about. And then I'm like, oh, that would be cool. That would be dope. You can mention something, I'm like, that would be dope. Or I can listen to something, Kanye West's Power, and all I see is like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool. Big bold letters, red, Power. Somehow mesh up a Basquiat inspired style into the piece. It can just be different things. It could be that a place that I go to. It really just, it depends, but most of the time, at least now, it really is just music and what I listen to. And I don't just listen to hip hop. I listen to, anything from Mexican music to reggaeton to hip hop to pop music to soul music to anything. I can go from Biggie Smalls to Frank Sinatra real quick. So, that's the way I like to put it. But anyways, on to the last question, I believe. So let's go to that. All right, so the last question, I want to call this the bonus question because, yeah. Uh, anyways, so the question is, where is somewhere you would want to go and paint? Again, I'm not gonna be your cliche person and tell you, oh, I would like to go to Paris and or France and or Italy and create, a masterpiece. No, that's not my thing. The first thought that came into my mind was New York City. The rough grittiness, it goes back to the music thing, the hip hop scene, the Brooklyn Bridge, Queens, Manhattan, just the whole mood. It's just something that I'm like, that would be amazing if I could paint anywhere, create something there. Another place that I think would be really, really, really cool to create would be in Mexico City. And not necessarily in the city, but around the Aztec ruins because of my heritage and, the Aztec blood that runs through me. I think that would be amazing, and like I said, I'm not gonna be one of those persons. I want to go to Milan and create some masterpiece. No, I can't. I'm not that artist. I like to really call myself, I'm a creator for the people, and as cool as it would be, making something. I'm not opposed to doing something like that in Europe or whatever it may be, but the rough grittiness of Latin America is just something that is something that I hold very dearly. I think that's really, really cool, at least in my head and in my opinion. Yeah. Anyways, I kind of dozed off a little bit. I'm still excited about that package. I'm gonna put it up on Instagram and TikTok, whatever I got in that package, so you guys can take a look at it. It's really cool stuff. And that was it. I had a lot of fun sipping on my blueberry tea, sitting in my car because I don't have the equipment to block off all the noise at home, and talking to you guys. I really did enjoy it. If you guys enjoy it, I'm gonna be that person. Subscribe. The link is in the bio to all my other social media, and click the little bell. So yeah, if you guys enjoy it, give it a thumbs up as well. I enjoyed this conversation, and I hope to have a lot more of these conversations with you guys. To be honest, besides all of this, I really, really, really enjoy connecting with people. So yeah. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.